Ghislaine Maxwell's appeal of her 20-year prison sentence for sex trafficking is playing out in a New York courtroom. Her lawyers say the British socialite and longtime Jeffrey Epstein associate unfairly took the fall for him. The 62-year-old is currently serving her 20-year prison sentence after she was found guilty back in 2021 of aiding Epstein in abusing young women and girls over the course of several years. Let's bring in Ghislaine Maxwell's attorney, Arthur Aidala. Arthur, it's always good to see you. We have you on because you're one of the smartest legal minds we know. But, I mean, no surprise to you, a lot of people don't want to see...
obviously don't know a lot of people. Obviously don't know a lot of people.
No. We love having you on, but you don't need me to tell you this. A lot of people don't want to see your client win. I figured you play ball here. I'm the judge. Audience is the jury this morning. Why does Ghislaine Maxwell deserve an overturned conviction?
Well, I actually want to address the first thing you just said about a lot of people don't want to see my client win. As you know, you and I have also spoken about my client I argued a month ago, which was the Harvey Weinstein appeal.
Right.
If in America, if we start enforcing laws and laws in the court of law, in the courtroom itself, based on popularity contests, we're done. Like, this whole country is done. And, what I find very interesting is many people who do agree with you, right, who don't want to see my client out, whether it's this client, whether it's Mr. Weinstein, and they don't care what the laws are, whether they're applied or they're not applied. They're the same people who think that President Trump is being treated unfairly, and they may be right. But we cannot become a society where we rule by opinion polls and by popularity contests. So if half the country or more than that love Donald Trump, we're going to enforce the laws one way, and 90% of the people don't like Ghislaine Maxwell, so we're going to enforce laws, or we're not going to enforce the laws or rip them up. Then
it's
we're
a fair
in big
point.
trouble.
Yeah, you make a fair point. What's the strongest card that you're playing here? Because I know one of the focal points is Jeffrey Epstein's non-prosecution agreement that he signed with federal prosecutors in Florida. Why do you think that NPA transcends to Manhattan and protects your client as well?
Because of the words in the document. 2 days ago was Justice Antonin Scalia's birthday. He would have been 88 years old. And, he's all about, and now everyone's been following suit, Justice Thomas, Justice Alito, Justice Gorsuch, that whatever the words say, that's what it means. And what the words say in Jeffrey Epstein's non-prosecution agreement is, I'm going to plead guilty. Jeffrey Epstein's going to plead guilty. I'm going to go to jail. Jeffrey Epstein's going to go to jail. Jeffrey Epstein, and it says, will not be prosecuted any further in the District of Florida of the United States of America. And here's the key words. And the United States will not prosecute any of his potential co-defendants, or co-conspirators, I should say. And the United States, according to my reading of the United States, is all 50 states. They made it clear that Florida was not going to prosecute Epstein, but that his co-conspirators or potential co-conspirators wouldn't be prosecuted throughout the land. And that's what the words say. So it's not our interpretation. Yeah. And we're asking the judges to pay attention to what the words say. And in fact, when they charged Epstein, they never charged Ghislaine Maxwell. Her name isn't anywhere in the original charging documents or the grand jury minutes or the indictment. It's only after he's dead. And there's millions of dollars that's been spent, hundreds of hours that have been used of our government's money going after Epstein. And now he's dead. Now there's no one to go after, so they go after Ghislaine.
I also wanted to ask you about some of the jurors, on that jury. We are running out of time. I am curious, though, Arthur, does Ghislaine think she did anything wrong at any point?
I'm blessed to represent hundreds of clients. That's not my job. Like, in other words, I don't talk to my clients about that. I make sure everyone's playing by the rules. And in 10 seconds, one of the jurors who not only sat in the jury box, but after the verdict went on national television to talk about how he swayed the whole jury, lied to the court. He said he was never a victim of sexual assault. And it turns out he was a victim of sexual assault, very similar to the type of sexual assault that Ghislaine Maxwell was charged with. If everyone in this country feels comfortable with, if they were on trial or someone they love was on trial, having someone in the jury room who is so prejudiced they cannot be fair and impartial. Again, we're
yeah,
a big,
I think a lot of people agree. I think a lot of people agree with that point. You know, what if this were a family member of mine? Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. Also, don't forget to click that red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.